Demko. My most potent tips. I have chosen to list these not by category, but in the order they came to me. Maybe that's an unconscious vetting of what's most important, or not. Stop looking back, take the next step forward. Most people end up happier when they stop revisiting and just take the next baby step or even giant step forward. Y-O-U. Your valuable learning per minute is likely maximized simply by Googling when you want to know something, and you'll get to know it when you want to know it, and it's free, 24/7, 365. Forgetting that a degree costs a fortune, many employers are starting to devalue degrees because of the amount of abstract, impractical education. Plus, the data is suggesting little growth, for example, in critical thinking. If you are learning to enhance employability, do keep a nugget file of your useful learnings and show that to prospective employers. The traffic light rule. During the first 30 seconds when you speak, your light is green. They're paying attention, not overwhelmed. They don't think you're egotistical or that they'll forget what they want to say in response. In the second 30 seconds, your light is yellow. The risk is increasing. At 60, you better shut up or ask a question and listen well. Use the term, I understand. When you disagree but don't want to get into a debate because your mind's made up, you don't respect the other person's reasoning, you just don't feel like debating it, saying, I understand, doesn't encourage the exchange without you having to lie and say you agree. Be aware of the asymptote, the point of diminishing returns. There's usually a point at which additional time, effort, and cost yield less. Yes, if you aim for and enjoy perfection, you might ignore the asymptote, but do that consciously. Create a crappy first draft. It's much easier and more pleasant to revise your way to excellence than to try to generate it all at once. Each time you go through a draft, obvious fixes are usually apparent, and it's fun to see the continuing improvement. Dollar cost average into Vanguard Index 500 fund. It's a low-cost ETF that invests in the S&P 500, which is the largest companies with consistent positive earnings. Don't try to time the market. The day you have an extra chunk of money, put it right in. That gets you more shares when prices are low, fewer when they're high. And in putting your money to work for you immediately, you're likely to benefit from the miracle of compounding, earning on your earnings. Most people will want to first invest money from their workplaces, 401k, 403b, or a traditional IRA. That's tax deferred, all three are. Use gross world flourishing as a criterion in your decision making. What investments of your time and money, at work and outside, will move the needle, even slightly, in helping people make the most of who they are? So I donate money and time to a mentoring program for gifted kids in a blue-collar school. These are kids with good potential to make a difference, but who come from homes that are not rich enough to provide optimal experiences, but not poor enough to have a heavy load of barriers to triumph over. Walk. Your mother is right. Walking is the best exercise. As vigorous as you want, with little risk of hurting yourself. It's free, and unlike the gym, you can do it right from your home. On my walks, I bring something to think about with me. It's great undistracted time. Plus my doggie and I end up at Trader Joe's. We walk de-stressed, I have thinking time, we get exercise, I do my shopping, and my doggie Hachi gets, well, relief. Use simulation-based hiring. Resumes, LinkedIn's, interviews, and references poorly predict how well a job applicant will do on the job. Instead, focus on getting referrals from trusted sources and pick the winner based mainly on how well they do in simulations of common difficult tasks on the job. Master Google querying. Develop a good sense of how specific and general your query should be, and when the result isn't sufficient, as it often isn't, how could you adjust your query to get a more useful answer? Practice that. Use the 1-second task. When tempted to procrastinate a task you know you should be doing, do its first 1-second task, even if it's just to walk to your desk. 1 second isn't intimidating and may get you rolling. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Beware of the Dunning-Kruger syndrome. Many people aren't smart enough to realize they could be wrong. Look out for that as you're deciding whether you should engage with a person on some issue. Be aware of Dunning-Kruger about yourself. People may be polite to you, but you don't want them in private to be laughing at you. Trim meetings. Many meetings are dog and pony shows. Email is usually more time effective. Limit meetings to when real-time, time-sensitive interaction is primary. Set a tight agenda. Blabbing expands to fill the time allotted. Avoid the tyranny of content. If you're explaining or teaching something, avoid the tendency to cram in too much content. Think about all the courses and other lectures you attended. Chances are you remember little. So take the time to teach the 1 to 5 things that are critical and not obvious, perhaps with an example, anecdote, statistic, or application. Use the relationship report card. Emotions run high in romance, and before getting serious, it may help to consider these rationalities: sexual compatibility, out-of-bed compatibility, kindness, lack of a hard-to-fix flaw like addiction or temper, and just that love and feeling that has deepened over time. Use guilt as punishment. Bad parents yell at or even hit their kid. Bad bosses threaten to demote or fire. Often more effective in the long run is to build intrinsic motivation with modest guilt. For example, I'm disappointed in you. I know you can do better. Am I misunderstanding something? Tweak, don't remake. We're a function of our parents, peers, education, and media. It's hard to reinvent ourselves or others. So at work, outside of work, and within yourself, your odds are better if you accept your basic self and just tweak. Maybe who and where you spend discretionary time, a skill you want to develop, whether technical or human, some enhancement of your appearance that would build your self-confidence. Moderation in diet. Diets don't work sustainably. Make modest changes. Leave danger foods out of the house. Order a lower-calorie entree at a restaurant. Leave 2 bites and split a dessert. If you're obese, you might want to ask your doctor about Zepbound, the current top-rated weight loss drug. Build on strengths. America's motto could be, dream it and you can do it. But more realistically, people grow more from building on strengths than remediating weaknesses. That may apply to people at work, outside of work, and yes, you. Prestige is overrated. Fancy cars, clothes, jewelry, hotels have high profit margins, which is why they advertise so heavily, but have low utility compared with mainstream brands. My favorite example is the Luxmobile, costing 2 or even 3x and requiring more maintenance and breaking down more than Toyotas and Subarus. Also watches. $20 Casios are as accurate and often quite beautiful as a 100x Rolex. Except for preeminent names like Harvard, Yale, and Stanford, expensive private colleges are tough to justify compared with flagship public universities and even community colleges, where teaching on average is better because at prestigious universities, hiring and promotion is done mainly on arcane research productivity, which is antithetical to good graduate or even undergraduate teaching. Beware hypocrisy. It's easy to talk, harder to walk. Judge people less by what they say than what they do. I am amused, dismayed at how many people profess inclusiveness, kindness, and community, but whose actions are far from it. For example, there are singers worth more than $1 billion, but to my knowledge haven't given most of their wealth away and lived just middle-class lifestyles, or even invited poor people, except maybe a house cleaner, to live in their gated mansion compound. And plain old people may be nice, but nice ain't necessarily good. More than a few nice people will try to screw you when money is involved. Nano vacations. Many people spend stressful days before and after vacation, and during, such that vacations don't justify the time, cost, and stress. Was it really worth that long plane ride to see more churches, museums, and a different culture? In most metros, other cultures are merely a ride away, a bus ride away. Better, the momentary stretch break. Walk down the hall to the break room, 30-minute bike ride. Favorite meal at favorite hole-in-the-wall restaurant. A day trip somewhere, whatever. Nano vacations. Default to agreement. We rarely change another person's mind, nor our own. So decide whether the benefits of debate outweigh searching for agreement, common ground, and maybe amplifying what they say. Focus on what you can control, mainly you. Much is out of our control. Decide whether it's worth fighting, say, the system, or working within it where you have more control. This is also true in one-on-ones. You can suggest but rarely force, even your child. You may strong-arm compliance, but that usually hardens the desire to defy you, usually sooner than later. Take your shot, maybe enjoy the process, but then try to let go of the outcome. Exercise moderately. Sure, it's possible the science will prove that extreme exercise to be worth it, but so far, it seems that moderation wins. 30 to 45 minutes of moderately vigorous exercise most days. Solohood is underrated. They say we're social animals, but in the real world, I've seen many people happier largely solo. It doesn't mean they're hermits, but they carefully curate who they spend time with. They enjoy the freedom to do what they want, when they want. Live by ready, fire, aim. Excess preparation can be both painful and not pay off. Too many issues can appear only when you're trying it. Rule of thumb, prepare modestly, try, and revise. Ready, fire, aim. Media bias. Journalism schools now often train journalists to be activists more than fair-minded. So as you consume news and even entertainment media, ask yourself if there might be another side of the story. Give for ripple. The so-called effective altruism movement urges giving to the poorest of the poor. An under-considered alternative is to give for ripple. What's likely to yield the most gross world flourishing? For example, buy a poor person a cow, and if cared for, will provide milk for the person and family. But they're unlikely to cure cancer. In contrast, fund an after-school mentoring program for high achievers in a blue-collar locale. There's more likely to be alpha. They're closer to achieving their potential, and for ripple beyond themselves. Do what you love, and poverty is more likely to follow. The problem is that many people love the same few things: the arts, sports, journalism, film, environmentalism. So you have many applicants for the few sustainable paying jobs in those fields. Even nonprofits claiming to value the worker use lots of volunteers. Don't you believe in the cause? I love the above activities, but have chosen to make them hobbies. I make money where money is to be made, without surrendering ethics. I'm a career counselor. Till death do us part is less realistic today. With women's greater economic viability and stress between the sexes greater than I've seen in my lifetime, the high divorce rate is no surprise. Before entangling yourself in legal chains, plus the risk of embarrassment if you have to say, never mind, to all those people you vowed, till death do us part, think 3 times before getting that diamond or even cubic zirconium. Be judgmental. Discernment is key to wise living. What to read, who to befriend, where to eat, what to watch, whether to keep walking on that side of the street. Rare is their certitude. Best we can do is think probabilistically. What has the best chance of being a good choice? Okay, I've shown you mine. You want to show me yours? Anyway, those are my best tips, the most potent ones. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 36 books. Perhaps most relevant to this is How to Do Life, but all 36 are on Amazon. In any event, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.